This is another episode of
Unreal Talk. This is part 2 of...
Yeah, we fucking exhausted the audio supply on his camera, running our mouths about how it sucks being old and how things are different and the world scares us now because we're so old and everything is so new.
That's right, which is another side effect of being old.
Although, the sex toy market has improved greatly in the time since I was a kid, because I remember back in the day it was just all like...
I don't think
that's... I can't talk about anything fun. But yeah, like in the last video, jiggling asses, butt cheeks on my head, yeah. That's funny as hell.
Yeah, if you remember in our last episode, I'll link the wiki down below.
Again. Because we don't want to talk about it.
Exactly. From now on, that's what I'm doing. I'm just going to say I'm going to link the wiki down below.
The wiki did.
Wiki died a year ago.
See, that's another thing that sucks about getting old, man. Pets.
Yeah, how many pets have I gone through?
Fuck. Yeah, you've had plenty of cats. Some are dead, some are not so dead. Some you haven't heard from in a while. You know.
Yeah. Move out of the house. You know, they get their own lives. Don't want to talk to you again.
Yeah, go to college. Meet somebody, get married, never call. Little fuckers.
Exactly. Never get a meow on the phone, nothing. Shit.
Yeah.
But, yeah. You know, that's how it goes sometimes with the whole getting old thing.
Yeah, the biggest problem lately has been that I can barely stand music anymore.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, as funny it is to make fun of Nicki Minaj while watching her videos on mute, if you know what I mean. Yeah. It's just, really? That's music now. Okay, I guess. But there's plenty of good stuff still out there. It's not that all music has gone completely bad. But everything that you hear on the radio, everything that's featured on anything, unless you're, scouring YouTube, you're not going to find, anything decent anymore. I mean, even ICP has dropped a lot in the... Ass is making noises over here.
But yes, ICP.
Well, it's like one of those things where, back when they started, it was really good. The last album was a little weak, not gonna lie. The game's not quite where it used to be. They were building up to the whole 6 Jokers cards, and then that happened, and it was supposed to be this big deal, but all it really meant was apparently they're starting another 6.
Which is, And
it's not like I was expecting much, but still.
It's just a cash grab, that's all it is.
True.
With them. That's why they put out 3 variations of the same album with 1 song difference or something
but that's the funny thing about ICP. On one hand, they will exploit the fans that can be exploited. But on the other hand, they will tell anyone who's broke to go out and steal their album. Because they don't care. They want people to listen to their music. If you can afford to buy 4 different versions of their new album just to get all the covers and exclusive tracks, fine, do it. Great. They're all the happier for the money. But if you can't afford it, then they will just as easily tell you to go steal it from a... I was about to say steal it from a music store. But it doesn't exist anymore? Music stores.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, thanks to iTunes... Fuck going to Coconuts. Remember Coconuts?
Yeah, I remember Coconuts.
Bought my first Marilyn Manson CD there. Bit of a tear.
Yeah, they had other stuff there too, though, little actions.
Yeah, they had niche-y action figures and some videos. They actually had a soft porn section. Remember, I bought that one video there with the mummy and.
Yeah. Is that the Misty Monday movie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
With the mummy with the schlong wrap that was walking around with the.
Stupid ass movie.
It's really hard to masturbate when you're laughing hysterically. I mean, unless it's not. But for me, it was very difficult.
And I find it scary for someone who finds that, attractive.
Ooh, look at them bandages. Burn victims.
It's what do you do for a living? I work in a triage unit.
Love your work, I guess. Man, comic books suck now.
Yeah.
They're all about convoluted overpriced crossovers. You know, some of these comics are like $5 an issue now.
Jeez, really?
Yeah. I heard the price of some of the Batman books was going up to like $5 or $6, and I was like, no.
Jesus Christ.
Fuck that. I can go on Steam and buy a video game for that.
Yeah, and I doubt it's even like, any more pages than they used to be when we were reading comic books.
Not even. I mean, maybe a few more pages here and there, but even then, they're still full of advertisements and shit.
It's like Hulu Plus.
Where's my money going? To get better paper and...
Yeah.
I like my paper that smells funny after a little while. Like I got that copy of Death in the Family that's actually printed on real paper. It smells like an old bookstore.
Yeah, I love that smell.
Exactly.
Like the old ink in the,
Yeah, when you open up that acetized paper in the comic store when you bought that old back issue and you pop it open, it's like...
Yeah. There's something about Hulu Plus. Like, think about this, okay? Whatever you watch on Hulu Plus, I could probably find online for free on another website without advertisements.
Of course, we don't talk about those kind of things, because...
Yeah. Some of that might not be so...
Because that is illegal. Those video streaming sites and online pirate downloads, like the Pirate Bay is gone now.
Yeah.
Granted, someone put up a mirror site with them, but it's that's illegal, and we wouldn't do anything like that.
No, you never want to hear about things like torrents or
yeah.
That's a bad thing. Torrents.
Torrents are bad. Okay.
Yeah, there's websites. You can find that you shouldn't be looking for, like Movie 25, that will show you the latest movies that are out in theaters that you don't. That's movie25.com.
What?
I was just saying movie25.com.
What about movie what now? I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I don't know what I would say about that hard to navigate full of pop-up site. But if you could figure out how to, I'm sure if someone could tell you how, because we don't know anything about it, but if somebody out there could tell you how to navigate it properly, maybe by telling you to go to the Putlocker links instead of the other ones, that's what you should probably do. But let's not dwell on that.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure, if someone were to do some sort of illicit activity, they could figure out to click on the Watch Now button instead of the Load Video in order to access it.
But that's not the kind of thing we promote.
No, not
We're
at
not
all.
all about that.
Not at all. We know nothing about it, so don't ask us questions. No
we
questions.
don't know anything about that. I wouldn't even know what BT Guard is. Somebody said that to me once in a conversation, and I was like, what the fuck is that? And they're like, oh, well, if you're doing stuff, it makes your internet look like it's going somewhere else. And I'm like, that sounds very questionable. I would never do anything like that.
It does sound pretty illicit and should...
And would not be done by me. Shut up. Stop talking about it.
Sidetracked.
Redbox.
Yeah, that's...
Redbox. Actually, you know what really kills me?
What?
When I was a kid, I had this magazine. It was like a Game Pro or something. Because those don't really exist anymore either. Magazines, I mean.
Yeah.
Some still do, but for the most part, everything that I used to like in a magazine is now on the internet.
And you know what a Game Pro was? It was walkthroughs, like little walkthroughs and articles about,
Most of the time it was just like, here's what's coming soon. And one of the things that they mentioned was an attachment for the Sega Genesis and the Super Nintendo that had a cable wire coming out of it that you hook into your cable box. So you could plug that cartridge into your gaming system and play any one of a library of games based on a subscription fee.
I remember that, yeah.
It never really kicked off because the technology was, cavemanish by comparison, but that's the same shit you can do now. You get a PlayStation Plus or an Xbox Live account, you get games for free that you can download and play whenever you want, as well as playing online with other people.
Yeah. Soon there's going to be video game systems that have no, external, connection whatsoever as far as,
Yeah, you put them in front of the TV and push a button. It's going to happen all by itself.
Connects Bluetooth or, Wi-Fi or whatever.
But
and there's
your
not gonna
TV
be...
can connect to Netflix.
Yeah, mine connects to Netflix. It connects to YouTube.
Basically, you have the internet wirelessly, and your TV goes, oh, you got internets? Have the world.
Yeah, Hulu Plus. If I had a Hulu Plus account, I could log in, automatically on the television. There's like certain apps.
Yeah.
And that's another thing, apps. It's like Windows 8, for instance.
Why are you even talking about that? We're supposed to be talking about old stuff, not stupid broke stuff.
Well, that's the thing. Okay, when we started the internet, we had Windows OP, or it wasn't even Windows 95, I don't think, or was it?
97.
Windows 97?
I remember Windows 97.
I think I had Windows 95.
Not a bad operating system. Either one of them,
Yeah.
It worked. That's all I care about. I can push a button, get to my programs, and play them. And that's all I want to do.
Yeah, it was one screen. It was a simple screen and had files you could click on or whatever.
Basically, this is Windows 7.
Yeah.
But it was a bit slower and not quite as responsive. Everything was fine until Windows 8.
Yeah, and they decided they needed to make it more mobile friendly. I guess.
They wanted to make a touch screen that you could keep in your house. Because that's necessary. It's like if I wanted a tablet, I would have bought a fucking tablet.
How about selfies? Just like that's...
I'm running out of...
But I mean, that's not like... We didn't do that,
We couldn't do that. When we had cameras, they had film in them. Or if you were really lucky, you had a Polaroid camera. That was the closest anybody ever got to a selfie. You take the Polaroid camera, turn it around, point at yourself, push the button, big blinding flash, and you get a whited out, blanched picture of yourself because that flash bulb could probably nuke your shadow onto the wall behind you.
Like what happened. Yeah. Happens, man.
But it was like, then we had the cameras with the film. Remember, I had a camera, 35 millimeter, click, 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 click.
Yeah, you have the thing, and then you connected it over the other side.
You had to take the film, pull a little bit out, and put it into the thing, and then put it onto the other part and close it up, because if the light got on the film, your pictures were fucked.
Yeah, unusable.
Yeah, you just wind it a bit, and then you took a picture, and you wind it some more, and you take a picture. There, you could take a picture, but you'd have to actually get it developed. Now, okay, for a second, let me run some knowledge at you. You had to take all your pictures that you finished, pull the little thing out of the bottom of the camera, wind the film back into the canister because, like I said, light fucks it up. So you had to wind it all the way back up, take that little film, put it in an envelope, close it off, and then take it to a place dedicated to making your pictures into pictures.
Although you could also do that at Walgreens and CVS, as I recall, because that's where I used to get my film.
Well, yeah, but I mean, they're one of the places that could do it.
Yeah.
It's just, they had a department for that. Like Walmart, I think, still has one to a certain degree.
Yeah. Now it's 1 hour photo, but sometimes some of these places, though, if you weren't that lucky, they gave you a little ticket.
Yeah, and they said come back in 2 or 3 days and we'll have it ready.
Exactly. And you know what? If you took illicit pictures, sometimes you didn't get those back.
Or you got them back, but someone who works at the photo lab got copies.
Yeah.
Copies. Sorry. Brendan Fraser, when he was still funny.
You may not remember.
Yeah. Bedazzled. Turns out it was a remake.
Yeah, it was.
So you agree with me that the principles of the remake are more important than the set pieces?
No.
This is never going to end.
And we just keep getting older. But that joke stays the same age.
Yes, it does. But yeah, it's like everything. I mean, like, I used to read comics in the newspaper. Like, you open the newspaper and you got to the comics section, and it was a whole page of little black and white comic strips. Now you can find them all online. People can make their own webcomics.
And they become popular.
Yeah, got my Order of the Stick posters over here on the wall. Webcomic. Guy can draw, slightly more advanced stick figures. And he makes money off of it.
Yeah, Happiness and Cyanide, one of my favorite, maybe...
Yeah, actually even more basic than Order of the Stick, and it's fucking hilarious.
Yep, 4 or 5 panels that tell the joke.
Usually something cynical, dark, and kind of twisted.
Yeah, it's my kind of joke.
Mm-hmm. We never used to be able to get that shit.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the internet would have killed me if I'd gotten it when I was any younger. Because, back back in the day, I had to steal porn. I had to sneak peeks, You know what I'm talking about. Everybody finds, somebody's stash, and they're like, ooh, haha, I found the porn.
Yeah, or walking along the street. That one time we found, remember, somebody'd thrown out the porn pictures.
Oh my god, yeah.
They'd, ripped them out of a book or whatever, because they were, all over the place.
Yeah, just somebody clipped out the pictures from a porno mag, and just kind of went, whoosh, and let them float in the breeze. And I was just like, porn, porn, porn. Because we didn't have the smartphone. My Tumblr account right now has more porn in it than I had seen in my entire life. Than most people have seen in their entire lives.
Which some of you might not have even seen as much porn as this guy has.
It's ridiculous. I'm a sad individual. But I'm okay with that.
Yeah, that's all that matters, really, is you're okay with it.
Yeah. I own it.
Yeah.
What? Porn. It's good for everybody.
But how about, as far as, getting older, you have any more, aches or pains or what have you than you used to?
Well, my knees are kind of shot to shit, but I think that's mostly because we spent most of our nearly 2 decades-long friendship walking obscene amounts of distance for no good reason.
Yeah, we did walk, pretty much everywhere for miles and miles. When we were kids, we would walk... How far was the Grant Plaza, do you think?
Oh, that was 5, maybe 10 miles.
Yeah,
it took us a while to get there.
Yeah, one day there was this mall that was pretty close to Dave's house that we used to go to.
We used to call it a mall, but that's only because that's the name on the sign.
It was a bunch of,
it's
open
a shopping
buildings.
center.
Yeah, it's a shopping center, more or less. It was like a strip mall, I guess. Is that what they call those, where they have,
I still call it a shopping center, because a mall has a covering over the entire building. Franklin Mills is a mall. Roosevelt Mall is a fucking shopping center.
Yeah, Grant Plaza, that was a plaza.
Yeah, that was a shopping center mall.
Yeah, but that had a different movie theater than the one we were used to.
A nicer movie theater.
Yeah.
That didn't have, burnt popcorn smell half the time.
Yeah. So for years, anyway, we used to go to this, for the sake of argument, we'll call it a mall.
Yeah, we'll just call it what we called it then, because consistency.
Yeah. So we've been going there, and we were starting to get, I guess, kind of bored with it and feeling kind of adventurous.
I remember what happened. Oh. Because when we first started going to the mall, we would go to, every goddamn store, and we would spend 10 or 15, 20 minutes just wandering around. But eventually, we're like, nah, let's not go in that store. Let's not go in that store. Or some of the stores closed. So eventually, we were left with Toys R Us, Party City, GameStop, which was Funko Land.
Funko Land.
That's what I'm saying. And then we would go to the arcade for a little bit, until we ran out of quarters.
Yeah.
And then, no, we'll get back to arcades. I don't want to glance over arcades.
That'll be, I think, the video game episode we do.
Yeah. But we used to go to the arcade, and then we would go to KB Toys, Way Out, which was like Hot Topic, but more of a head shop than a goth shop. It's always smelled like incense. I never quite got it until a while later. That's where I bought my collection of 30-plus Superman shirts that I wore all through high school.
Yep.
One for every day of the month. It was fucking crazy.
Anyone who went to high school with us is probably not watching any of these episodes. You'll remember. Yep.
Which was an ironic nickname because I was kind of not as bad as I am now, but I was definitely... I think it was more because I was really wide and, people were just like, oh, you must be fat. Because I always wore baggy clothes. But anyway, yeah, so we got tired of running through those same half-dozen stores because nothing changed from week to week.
Yeah.
The same stuff was always in KB and always in Way Out. So we finally just got to a point where we're like, okay, we're done walking at the mall. We started at 12. It's now 1 o'clock. And it's like, well, now what? And then I looked down the street and I was like, what's down there? And we just started walking until we found something.
Yeah, we just wandered through the woods for miles, remember?
Yeah.
We came out the other side and there was a mall.
Something like that, yeah. It was like, hey, look, there's some woods there. We started walking, and next thing I know, there's nettles stuck in my legs because I was wearing shorts and sweating. That was a horrible day. It's like we tried to go to the movies, and you got carded, so we had to come all the way back.
Yeah, luckily your father drove us back.
You got carded.
Yeah, I was the one who got carded. I'm older than he is.
But I was always taller and I had a bit more of a scruffy thing going.
Yeah.
I actually did a mustache for a bit in high school. I wouldn't do that now though because don't get me started.
Yeah, I didn't grow facial hair till like, I don't know.
Yesterday.
Yeah.
He's been working on that for like a month. And it's like somebody took my pubes off and just glued them on.
Shove my pubes in your face. Glue them on my fist first.
Take my pubes off, glue them onto my fist, and then punch you.
It'd be like, you know that Jean-Claude Van Damme movie where like they put their hands in glue and then like in broken glass?
I like the Charlie Sheen movie where they dip their hands in chocolate sauce and then put sprinkles and gummy bears on them. Hot Shots. Back when parody meant something.
Yeah.
You can't do that now. Well, except the Wayans brothers. I'm not gonna lie. Scream 1, 2, and I think 3 they were involved in. I think maybe just 1 and 2. But once they disappeared, those movies sucked balls.
Yeah.
But then I watched A Haunted House, and I was like, yeah, this is actually pretty funny.
Yeah. Like I said, Haunted House 2, I don't know, do they have that one on Netflix?
Yeah.
It's not, anywhere to that level.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect it would be, but, the first one was good, and that's all I was really looking for. Just wanted to see how it went.
Yeah.
Movies are ridiculous now.
Yeah. Well, it's like a single movie, okay, they would franchise the shit out of that. Like, let's go back to the 1989 Batman movie again, like we did in the first part of this thing. All right. There was Batman fucking everything. There was Batman cereal, Batman mugs, Batman banks. If you could think of it, the new Batman costume was on...
T-shirts.
Yeah. On fucking everything.
Greeting cards.
That was marketing.
Fucking Batman underwear.
Yeah. The only thing that gets more marketing in modern times than that Batman movie did then was Duck Dynasty. I mean, think about it. There's Duck Dynasty fucking everything.
I don't want to think about it.
I went to the trash to throw my garbage out 2 days ago. Do you know what was in the trash? A cardboard box. But you know what was on the cardboard box?
Duck Dynasty tampons?
No. That'd have been even worse. Duck Dynasty packing tape, which was ripped open, was on the fucking box. It had their faces on it, cut in half because of whoever cut the packing tape. Why? Yeah. Anyway, though, yeah. Marketing machine Batman was.
Yeah.
These days, like, yeah, okay, you might get, you'll get, like, super hyped up, commercials, or, like, the media market will be going wild online or whatever, for these movies. But you'll get, like, a 7-Eleven Slurpee cup, from it, or,
Yeah, which is not bad.
Yeah.
Maybe Burger King will do a Happy Meal toy.
Yeah. Transversely, though, it's kind of weird because, like...
I think the problem is that there's so many things that just keep happening. It's like, oh my god, Transformers, oh my god, Batman, oh my god, Superman. It's like they barely have enough time to get the product on the shelf before the next thing comes out, and that's just the next thing on the shelf. So it's all still there, but it's just like, when Batman came out, that was it. There wasn't anything to compete with.
Yeah, everybody was so excited... for that movie, for instance.
Yeah, there was nothing to compete with it. It was just like, well, that's it. We're going to push Batman until it is run into the ground.
Yeah, for a multi-millionaire, Batman shilled an awful lot of company commercials at that time,
Diet Coke.
Gotham
Corner Store, we seem to be down to our last Diet Coke. Yes, this is Wayne Manor. We're sending Batman to pick up more soda. Don't ask any questions. Goes bashing through the front window, throws a batarang at the soda case, breaks it open. Like, really?
And then there was this Taco Bell commercial that I remember and I can't find anything of.
I'm starting to think you may have imagined the Taco Bell commercial.
I swear there was a commercial where the Batmobile drives up into the drive-thru.
Oh, I believe that you think there was. But there's no evidence of it.
There has to be somewhere.
Okay, I was on that website last night, Bring Back Crystal Pepsi, on the Facebook, I sent you the thing.
Yeah.
They have a Crystal Pepsi commercial on a YouTube link. Now, if they can have a commercial, Somebody should have found that Batman at the drive-thru commercial by now.
If they were looking for it.
Now, there was a joke about Batman going to the drive-thru in one of those god-awful movies.
Yeah, we're not going to mention the Schumacher movies again.
We just...
Freaking back
said it
credit
again.
cards.
Who said it again? Ah, God, I said it.
It all roads lead back to Schumacher, unfortunately, when we're talking about Batman, because you can't...
It's like the trail to hell. It just all keeps looping back around.
It's like the Snorlax in the road. You can't get past it.
Oh, Pokemon.
Yeah.
Dude, Pokemon.
There's one. The old Pokemon.
Yo, man, come on. Pokemon Red and Blue on the emulators on the computer. We didn't even have Game Boy because we was broke.
Yeah.
Well, and financially irresponsible. I mean, 100 Superman t-shirts, 1 Game Boy. At the time...
The Tyco Handycam that we had, 3 of us had to pitch in for.
Yeah. Everybody pitched in a little bit, and it might still be in my house somewhere, my parents' house, in the basement, maybe.
Yeah, because we used to film wrestling. That's what we used to do, is wrestling.
Maybe that's what I'll film an episode on while I'm out there.
Huh.
Set the handy cam up. I'm like, depression vision.
Alternate angles, dude. Do this one with the main camera, right? And then do the handy cam with,
with depressing grayscale.
Yeah. We're doing HD quality here. And then, wait, is that Dave? Or is that,
Is that Dave, or did someone smear shit on the lens? Oh, fuck. But yeah.
Look forward to that, because Dave's going to Philly on Friday, so...
Yeah.
While he's out there, he'll be doing some filming, get maybe an episode or 2 in with some special guests while he's out there.
Yeah. That'll be fun.
Yeah. Got some experts back in Philadelphia that can correspond with.
Yeah, because, this guy doesn't watch Doctor Who.
Yeah.
Oh, but Pokemon.
Yeah, that's Pokemon.
That's what I wanted to get into. Because, Pokemon. Even now, the fucking Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, it's a remake of the Ruby and Sapphire. Granted, it's got some extra content and a couple extra things you can do, but it's the same story over again, but better graphics, which is the true spirit of the remake.
Yeah, I would agree with that one. Same story. Better graphics.
So you agree with me on this particular point? Wait, did I do that in this episode or the last one?
I don't remember.
Fuck. So we're shooting these back to back because of technical difficulties,
Yeah,
and now
obviously we're...
Pokemon. Because, we're playing on the computer. We couldn't even trade Pokemon. We were just playing it on an emulator on our computers at home.
But if you did have a Game Boy, do you know what you had to do to trade Pokemon? You needed a cord that you had to buy separately to connect.
And you couldn't trade with anyone who was more than 3 feet away from you.
Because everything ran on cords. The Nintendo 60... No, I think it was a PlayStation. Had the very first wireless controller.
PlayStation 2?
Yeah, it might have been the PlayStation 2. Had the very first commercially available wireless controller.
Well, that's not entirely true. There was one available for the Nintendo. It was shit. It was balls out shit. But it was wireless.
But I believe it's the same thing. You can only get, you couldn't get more than 5 feet away before it loses the signal. And
Although in those days, your TV was so small that if you got more than 5 feet away, you couldn't look at it right.
Yeah, Mario was,
It's throwing it out there.
Yeah.
It's not like today where we take our, $150 30-inch TVs for granted.
Yeah. Interesting story, I'll tell you just super quick. So, 3D TVs, which you're not going to see anywhere anymore because they've discontinued all 3D TVs because the technology failed. Mostly because, experts say because of the glasses, because you had to wear glasses to watch 3D televisions.
And they were expensive.
Yeah, they were expensive. Technology eventually would have come, prices would have come down or whatever. But there was the 3D technology that existed in Japan, 3D televisions, where you didn't need glasses. Do you know why we never saw them here?
Seizures?
No, because the televisions they felt were too small, the American marketing, to market here. Because the larger it gets, the more pixel frames, and so the 3D didn't work.
Well, it's like the Virtual Boy, which had convincing 3D technology, but it was in a visor that you had to wear over your head. Not even that you could like put it on, but you sat at the table with this thing holding it up in front of you, and you stuck your eyes in it, and you played the games like this. Gave me a headache after a little while.
Yeah, eventually you kind of felt like you wanted to vomit.
Yeah, vertigo and.
It's still confusing why it didn't actually have like a head mount you could put on there, because I mean it
Probably
wasn't as
because
heavy.
some idiot would have wandered into traffic wearing one.
Yeah, instead it was like on the sniper mount, you had to like put your head
Yeah.
in and basically play it.
But now fucking Pokemon, they're 3D. You don't need glasses for it. It's a 3D game.
Yeah.
You just turn the little 3D switch. So
Yeah,
that
little-
TV technology in Japan turned into a handheld gaming system.
Yeah. Although the televisions were an okay size, I mean I believe they're like about yay big, but it's still smaller than the average American television. So American manufacturers didn't want to buy it from the factory.
Yeah, because it's too small. Nobody wants that shit.
Yeah, exactly. You didn't need glasses for it, though.
Mhm.
And it was actually cheaper, as I understand it, than the 3D technology.
Yeah.
Because of the way that it did the conversion, you didn't need to actually convert it.
Although at this point, though, with the 4K curved TVs, I was looking at those at Best Buy, those are almost 3D by themselves.
Yeah, I've noticed that. That's like the highest amount of pixelations you can...
And not even just that, it's
Can
the
view.
effect of the curved screen. It gives more depth to what you're looking at. It's very disconcerting to stare at.
I'll have to look at that.
You gotta go to Best Buy and just stare into it for a while.
Yeah, I haven't been at Best Buy in a long time. I don't know if I've even seen one of those things yet in person.
They're cool, though.
Yeah.
Not like they used to be, man. Fucking big-ass box tube TVs and shit.
Man, freaking transistors.
Yeah, I remember there used to be a little switch on the side of the TV that switched between the video game input and the cable TV input. When we had... Because you remember, eventually my parents got a better TV, and they put the old crappy one in the basement, and that was where we hung out.
Yeah,
That was the lair.
Yeah, that was the Dave layer down there. There
Yeah.
were those, and then there was the washer and
Man,
dryer.
if you think this table got some action, those chairs, especially the one you gave me, the lucky chair, the big blocky one that my parents threw out, still upset about that.
Yeah.
I like that chair.
Man, remember carrying that over to your place? Dave lived about 3 miles from me. 3 or 4 miles.
3
from me.
miles awkward. 3 awkward miles. It wasn't even like, okay, here's point A and point B. Let's just walk. No, it was point A, an Air Force base, so we had to go this way,
Yeah,
and
we
then
had to
that
go, like,
way.
around it, and then up, and then kind of like over to the side here. But anyway, when I moved out here to Reno, he still lived in Philadelphia, and I gave him my chair, my computer chair, which was like this lazy boy recliner.
Well, it wasn't even a recliner. It was just a block. It was like an old 70s style chair. I don't know how long your mom had it, but it was literally just a block with a seat carved out of it with some upholstery on it. And it was like the most comfortable chair in the world.
Yeah.
Especially when you had the...
Not
Jesus
getting to
Christ.
that.
What about the time with the Tootsie Roll Pop? And the... I'll tell you when we turn the cameras off. Or not.
But anyway, the chair...
Comfy.
Yeah, but we carried that. We had to carry that thing back to his house by hand.
Well, we made it about halfway before
Yeah.
one of us got
A shopping
actual
cart.
idea.
Yeah, Dave ran off to get a shopping cart, right? So I stayed with the chair. It was the dead of winter. There was like a foot of snow on the ground, right? While we're doing all of this. So I figured, hey, what the hell? I'm waiting for Dave anyway. So I just plopped down. So I was just sitting in a chair. In the middle of the falling
sidewalk.
snow, in the middle of the sidewalk, just hanging out, waiting for Dave to get back.
Snagged a shopping cart from a local supermarket, threw the chair on top, and the rest of the way back to my parents' house was easy. Mostly downhill.
Yeah, remember we found the wheelchair?
That was funny.
Yeah, or you had that when we were working at Wells Fargo. You had the battle chariot thing. Remember where you put your feet on it?
Oh,
Because
yeah.
I was thinking when you said downhill, like halfway between my house and his, the road just went like this. It was just like a straight downwards.
There was one road that was just pretty much a solid slant. That was fucked up. The street, like, before that, though, was it looked mostly even, but if you were to actually roll down it on a wheeled conveyance, you would hit speed quick. So I remember when we were doing the Toys R Us thing, I bought the little scooter deal, and I rode it up to your house, which was a pain in the ass because uphill. But getting back, I never made such a good time.
I don't remember if that thing even had brakes on it, did it?
Barely. It only had the brakes on the front wheel, but that's really all it had anyway.
Yeah.
Slightest deviation in the road, the back wheels would hit, and I would just stop and go flying.
Yeah. Mind you, also, like, he was a little bigger than he was now, and he was like maybe like 18, 19 years old, and he was on like this thing where it was just two planks with like a wheel in the front and two wheels in the back, and like an aluminum frame.
Yeah, no shocks or anything like that to speak of. It was just, you're supposed to just pedal a little bit, just push yourself forward.
So when he hit the brakes, all of that weight just went forward.
All of the momentum was hitting the front wheel, which was trying desperately to stop. And the rest of it, may or may not follow along.
Yeah, going down, I've seen him go down that thing too, and he was going maybe 40 miles an hour.
I was hitting fucking speed, man. I wasn't trying to hold back. Pedal, push, 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 and then just coast and like, hair going.
Yeah.
Except for that one night. I was coming back from your place, and thought I heard something behind me, so I looked back to see if there was a car, and when I turned back around, my arms turned too, so I basically turned the front wheel sideways, and
Ooh. Oh, man.
I skidded down that steep hill.
You
landed at the bottom, kind of just picked it back up, got back on it, and just kept going.
I knew how fast you could go too, because I used to ride my bike to work on that route.
Yeah. There was a couple times we would go up to the supermarket, and there's a lot of hills and dips in there, and we were waiting for somebody. So we were just riding, he was on his bike and I was on the scooter thing. We were just going up and down the hills and flying around. I was going faster than he was half the time, just based on momentum.
Yeah, just based on, I was actually kind of slowly braking, but yours was all or nothing, really.
See, that's another problem with racing video games. I always know where the accelerator is. No clue where the brake is. I brake when I hit the wall.
He brakes when he literally brakes. That's his brake.
Yeah.
Yeah, slow momentum. That's also why he doesn't drive a car.
I can just imagine how that would work out.
It's where's the brake? I don't know, but I know where the airbags are.
Brakes? What are those? Whee! Right over the mountain.
Yeah.
We'll land somewhere in Virginia City.
Yeah. But, yeah, I think we've spent, well over an hour now just talking about,
Should probably cut this off before the battery dies anyway. But I think we've covered all the bases. We still have to do the how we got started video at some point.
Yeah, you can look forward to that in the future when Dave gets back from his trip.
Yeah. And also whatever I'm going to be shooting over there.
Yeah.
Doctor Who and whatever.
Yeah, whatever else you might do. Dave's family might get involved. You never know,
Yeah. Probably talk them into appearing on camera.
Yeah, his father's a good good fan of the show.
Yeah. I think he might be the only fan of the show.
Possibly, besides the other guests that,
I know my sister doesn't watch, but that's only because she spends all her time reading erotic fan fiction.
Maybe you should show her this part just so she...
that last thing I was telling you about where she was reading the thing about Harry Potter and Iron Man?
I think that's for another...
I'm not even going to talk about it. I just wanted to throw that out there. But yeah, no, it was an erotic / fan fiction about Harry Potter and Iron Man. They were living together. I stopped asking questions. I walked away. Okay,
that takes a lot.
I walked away.
Takes a lot for Dave to walk away.
There's very few things, but I walked away from that. Anyway, my mom, I think she still watches sometimes, maybe, possibly. It's hard to say.
I don't know. But
look forward to that when I get back, see what happens.
Yeah. And we might have more guest stars in the future, you never know.
Yeah.
So anyway, for now, thanks for watching.
We are trying to talk one guy into showing up for a guest spot, but he's a punk-ass bitch that's hiding in California because Reno's too scary.
Sacramento has more crime. It really does.
And it's a YouTube video, so no one can respond. Our opinions will go unchallenged.
Thanks for watching Unreal Talk.
Bye. See ya.